I never imagined that an ordinary Tuesday afternoon would completely alter the course of my life. Yet, there I was, sitting in my office, immersed in finalizing a multi-million-dollar deal. The only sounds in the room were the steady ticking of the clock and the quiet hum of my laptop. Then, out of nowhere, my phone buzzed. At first, I ignored it, too focused on the numbers in front of me. But then it buzzed again and again. Finally, curiosity got the best of me, and I glanced at the screen. 3 missed calls from an unfamiliar number. Strange, but not unheard of in my line of work. I assumed it was just another persistent sales rep. Then came the 4th call, and something inside me told me to answer. Before I could even say hello, a frantic voice on the other end spat out, "Tell Olivia to stop messing around. This isn't a joke. Things will get ugly." Froze. Olivia. My Olivia. Who the hell is this? I demanded, feeling a sudden rush of heat rise in my chest. Brief pause. Then the voice muttered, almost to himself, "Wait. This isn't Ethan, is it?" "No, it's not," I replied sharply. "Who's Ethan? And why are you calling about my wife?" Another pause. Longer this time. More calculated. "I've said enough," he muttered before hanging up. My pulse didn't just spike, it skyrocketed. But not in the way most people might expect. I wasn't the type to panic or start throwing accusations. No, my mind sharpened. If there was one thing I excelled at, it was reading between the lines, and something about that call didn't sit right. I wasn't about to let this slip through my fingers. If there was something to uncover, I needed to see it for myself. I leaned back in my chair, taking a moment to process. Some man, Ethan, had some sort of connection to my wife. Up until now, I had no reason to doubt her. But why was this happening? What was I missing? Grabbing my jacket, I informed my assistant that an urgent matter had come up and left the office. If Olivia was hiding something, I needed to find out. Carefully. Strategically. When I arrived home, the house was quiet. Olivia's car wasn't in the driveway, meaning I had time. I did something I hadn't done in years. I checked her computer. Not out of paranoia, but out of necessity. If I was going to find answers, I needed evidence. Emails. Nothing unusual. No suspicious contacts. But then I checked her calendar. Every Thursday for the past 3 months, she had blocked off a 3-hour window. Meetings, errands, doctor's appointments. Nothing that raised suspicion at the time. But now a pattern emerged. Always Thursdays. Always the same time frame. My adrenaline surged, but I forced myself to stay calm. No rash decisions. I grabbed my phone and dialed Olivia. "Hey," I said casually. "What time will you be home?" She sounded relaxed. Too relaxed. "Just finishing up with Sophie. I'll be home in about an hour." "Why, Sophie?" A name I hadn't heard in a while. She used to be a close friend of Olivia's, but we hadn't seen her in months. Something felt off. "Just wondering if we're still on for dinner," I said, playing along. "Of course. Can't wait," she responded, as warm as ever. I hung up, my heart pounding. Every lie she told was another puzzle piece falling into place. Without hesitation, I checked the location sharing app we had set up years ago for emergencies. Olivia wasn't anywhere near Sophie. She wasn't even in the same part of the city. She was across town, in a neighborhood I didn't recognize. Smiled. Not out of joy, but because I was onto something. And once I had a lead, I never let go. That evening, Olivia walked in, cheerful as ever. She kissed me on the cheek and asked if I wanted to order takeout. I agreed, keeping my expression neutral, watching for any flicker of guilt. But she played her role flawlessly. The next morning I made my move. I called Lucas, a private investigator and an old friend. I had helped him out years ago, and now I needed a favor. Lucas, I need you to follow Olivia. No questions for now. Just track her Thursdays. Lucas picked up on the tension in my voice and agreed immediately. I'll start next week. You'll have answers by Friday. The waiting was unbearable, but I buried myself in work. Meanwhile, Olivia's behavior remained unchanged, perfectly composed. Too perfect. Thursday arrived. Lucas was on the case. That afternoon, my phone buzzed with a message. Meet me at the park near your house at 6 p.m. We need to talk. No explanation. No details. Just those words. And that was enough. I left work early and drove straight to the park, where Lucas was already waiting. His expression grim. Tell me, I said, skipping the pleasantries. Lucas didn't hesitate. She's seeing someone. She lied about where she'd be and went straight to a hotel. I followed her into the parking lot. She met a man. I have photos. Even though I had suspected it, hearing it confirmed hit differently. Lucas handed me his phone, and there they were. Olivia, smiling like she hadn't a care in the world, walking toward a man I didn't recognize. He was younger, taller, athletic. He held the door open, and she disappeared inside the hotel with him. I stared at the photos in silence, my mind racing. What do you want to do? Lucas asked carefully. I pocketed my phone, my decision already made. Keep following her. I want to know everything. If I confront her now, she'll just lie. I need the full picture. Lucas nodded. I'll have a full report by the end of next week. We parted ways, and I drove home, my mind calculating every possible next move. Olivia had been deceiving me for who knows how long. And if she thought she was going to walk away from this unscathed, she was dead wrong. That night, she returned home as if nothing had changed, humming as she cooked, smiling as she set the table. Every gesture now felt rehearsed, every word scripted. How many times had she come home after being with him? How many lies had she told me to my face? Long day, she asked, placing a plate in front of me. I forced a smile. Yeah, just the usual. Inside, though, I was already making my next move. Because this wasn't just betrayal. This was war.